I want me, now. We have a pizza on the way and I don't have my notes. God. My car. I wanted to talk about my car a little bit because, as you know, my truck exploded. The engine exploded. It dropped the valve. So I'm like, okay, I gotta get a new car. So I went and I got the Taurus, and I'm already at this point starting to feel like I really want another truck because I'm gonna be going on a road trip next week with you know who, which we'll talk about later on this podcast. Yeah. Stay tuned, people. Oh, the pizza man's here. Hold on. This is the ultimate cardinal sin, right? Eating on the podcast.
Yes.
All right, we'll get it over with quick. That's why we're doing it first. Because we didn't
shout out to Pizza Hut.
Yeah, shout out to Pizza Hut, seriously. Because I tried ordering online. Look, and you were like, oh yeah, you need to get with the times and just call them. I'm like, no, ordering online, this should be the times. Yeah. You should be able to go online. I went in there, you type in the address, and then it automatically knows, okay, if this is your address, this is where you should be ordering from. So I type in the address, I fill out this whole thing, and Pizza Hut, like, this is where they need to get their act together.
They're like, what are you thinking?
Yeah, no, yeah. That's like something that would pop up on Microsoft Word 5 years ago. What are you thinking about? So the whole thing, you fill it out and it gets to the card, and then it says, after I press the address, and it told me who was going to deliver, it says, okay, this Pizza Hut's the closest. When I press checkout, it says, now there's a problem with your address. Start from the beginning, basically. Because you have to cancel it, and you literally had to start from the beginning. Bullshit. When you press back on those websites where you put your credit card information, if you press back, you're done.
Yeah.
Because those things have like the built-in security and all that, where it's not gonna save it. It's just gonna refresh the page, and you literally have to just start over. So I had to go back in time, like 15 years, or the 90s when you had to call in, or everything before calling into Pizza Hut or Domino's.
I still think that's the best way to do it, because it's like, internet, you have problems. They're like, this, that. Dude, I'd rather call that freaking slave over the phone and be like, yo, this is what I want. This is how I like it. Give me any kind of freaking special, and let's do this.
So we got 1 pepperoni, 1 cheese pizza. We canceled out on the wings.
Pizza.
A limousine and a pizza. We canceled the wings. It was just a joke. Yeah. So we're like, let's just bring us the pizza, call it a day.
My brother's eating ranch and freaking sriracha mixed in a bowl.
No, there's
while he's dipping his pizza.
The sriracha's just out. It's not actually squirt into the bowl. And the only reason we're using bowls is because I have 4 plates. I have 4 plates at my house.
Bachelor!
Dude, this is the ultimate bachelor pad. I'm telling you. And then so that's why I had to spend like a bachelor. Because I have 4 plates, but that's not like the end of the line. Look, we have 4 bowls, and that essentially is going to hold all your... Where'd your bowl go?
Right here.
Where's your pizza?
It's in there. I finished it.
Oh, you did.
I'm a fast eater.
Yeah, you're a pig, dude.
Anybody that knows me...
And everybody knows ranch tastes great on pizza anyway.
No, that's disgusting. You're ruining it.
No, it's not. It's pretty good.
Everybody that knows me, and there's a couple people out there that know me, they know I'm a fast eater. Do you know why I'm a fast eater? In-N-Out. When I worked at In-N-Out, I became a freaking fast eater. We have like 10 minutes, and they like give you like a number 1 to finish. Mm-hmm. But if you want to take a shit or a piss, or if you wanted to get like an energy drink going or something, you needed to freaking finish that shit up in 10 minutes. What do you need?
Bring that pizza over.
Fat ass.
Slice 3. Are you doing regular cheese? No, do regular cheese. Regular cheese.
Oh, sorry.
Just bring the whole box, dude.
That looks good too.
Yeah. Look at the pizza. That cheese.
That
pizza.
looks like something off Home Alone, dude. That's
a Home Alone. That's a
shot.
Macaulay Culkin pizza right there, dude.
Macaulay Culkin would be proud to eat that. Like a cheese pizza.
Macaulay Culkin, shout out to Macaulay Culkin, dude. If he's, I'm gonna take a picture of the pizza before I freaking ruin it. But that pizza.
I'm just ruining this third piece right now.
What were we gonna say though about the about In-N-Out or?
Oh yeah, dude, In-N-Out. They taught me how to eat super fast.
Huh?
So you have 10 minutes to like gobble down a whole freaking double, and I got my double animal style, no tomato, extra pickle, extra mustard. Holler if you hear me. That means it's a double with no cheese because I'm lactose, but I'm eating a cheese pizza over here. Now I can eat cheese. I'm just gonna fart and shit a lot, but I'm home, so well, kind of home in your house.
You're home here.
But it makes my stomach a little insensitive. But for some reason, pizza doesn't really screw with me too much. Especially, I don't know if it's like fake cheese or something. But like regular cheese jacks me up. or like whole milk or whatever. But this one's good. But anyways, going back to In-N-Out, man. In-N-Out is such a great company to work for. Shout out to In-N-Out. I still love In-N-Out to this day. Me and some of my best homies work there. And it was great times. But they give you 10 minutes, like a 10-minute break, and it's like, dude, you gotta scarf your burger down and then scarf your fries down, which is super healthy for you. And then if you wanted to use the restroom, run across the street to the liquor store, grab a Monster or something, you know, you have 10 minutes to do all that. So I became like a super fast eater, and till this day, I go out to lunch with my buddies, and I'm just like, all right, done.
I actually didn't.
They're like, dude, we barely got appetizers.
I remember you had a bike stolen from In-N-Out when you were working there.
Yeah.
It was like the one we got for Christmas because we got the same bike. You were putting a lot of money into your bike.
Because I was working at the time. So at the time when I was working at Baskin Robbins, 31 Flavors, shout out.
Right.
That might even been like a little after, but
yeah, and in high school, at Bellflower High, it was a lot of the white kids. You know, the few of the white kids all had the bikes. You know, you had the stoner kids, and then you had the kids that went BMXing or whatever. But
rollerbladers.
And then some of the kids, you know, that could barely afford cars. You know, there was a parking lot, but there was a big cage at Bellflower High School for the kids that had bikes. You would ride your bike to school.
Yeah.
You would lock it in this big cage, and you would, you know. I remember going and getting my bike some days and seeing like full on just like the chains cut.
Yeah.
Kids' bikes were stolen all the time.
All the time.
And luckily, our bikes were never stolen. Your bike was eventually stolen, but it was from In-N-Out Burger.
Do you remember back in the day? So our mom was like super. I don't want to say overprotective, but she would always be like, "Wear your helmet to school."
Uh-huh.
Except those days, ladies and gentlemen, my brother and I spent 35 minutes in front of the mirror, putting like labella and like all this shit to spike our hair. Because remember, spiky hair was the shit.
Yeah.
So you wanted to spike your stuff up sick, and by the time you're about to leave for school, yeah, you use a blow dryer or whatever, not like make it a little spiky and stiff, but putting on that helmet, that would just crush it all.
Yeah.
And it'd make your hair look like shit. So we had barely put it on the top spikes and like try to button it and be like, "Okay, Mom, see you later." But once we got to the corner,
yeah,
we took them off. We ditched them in our neighbor's jeans bush, and like it just.
Yeah, you get it on the way home.
And we'd get it on our way home and strap it on and be like, "Hey, Mom."
Yeah, I mean, nobody wanted to wear a helmet. It just wasn't cool. And what was cool was having big hair and having a bike or having a car. And it was just, you couldn't mix that with it. But at the same time, if you went to school with helmet hair, you were like a loser. You know, like, you'd look at you and like,
look at this retard.
Did your mommy make you wear a helmet?
Hey, what's the matter, baby boy?
Yeah, and you know, and being, you know, name calling or put downs were huge in high school. You know, like, hey, look at this guy. But there's funny stuff I remember though. Like I remember buying like stolen Aeropostale jeans from like this little Asian man named Kai. You know,
Really?
like 11. He was like a junior, so he seemed like this older dude, and he'd be like, "I steal jeans from Aeropostale," and he'd sell them to like in class for like $10. And I used to buy them all the time. They were the Dickies when they were selling those Dickies black pants. You know, the solid, just square shaped ones.
Yeah.
And you had to have that and like the big button up like Paul Walker Dickie shirt, you know. And it was like they came in like what, two colors, that dark blue and then that dark gray. You know, that was like the only colors Dickies ever knew about.
I stole so many clothes when I was younger.
Did you?
Yeah.
From where?
So I think my senior year. No way. I think I was 10th grade. My 10th grade year, I was working at Abercrombie and Fitch. Was it 10th grade? No.
I didn't know you worked there.
I did work there. I'm trying to.
And Hollister?
I'm trying to.
Did you work at Hollister?
I worked at Abercrombie, never Hollister.
And then the other one, American Eagle.
American Eagle.
That's right. Okay.
So at Abercrombie and Fitch, I knew some dudes that would take like all the tags off the clothes and put them in the trash, and then go that night and get them out of the trash. I did that like one time. And then this other time when I remember being my senior year, this dude would go to like PacSun, and he had like one of the guns that would take the tags off.
Yeah.
So he would just go in and like, "Yo, what do you want?" So like, let's say I wanted this shirt. They're just like half price or like $5 for the shirt or whatever. And he'd just take all the tags off, bring them to school. And this is when like famous stars and straps were like the shit. And I'd like give him like $20 and I'd get like a belt and shirt and like a hat or something. Like super like cheap. Those were the days, man.
With the belt buckle and the. I remember Independent was a big brand.
Independent, yeah.
Quicksilver, Hurley.
My favorite was getting the CCS magazines.
Oh my God! Everyone had that magazine.
CCS magazine. Sorry, I'm finishing up this pizza. CCS magazines were pretty sick because it was like a mail subscription. We would get those in the mail, kind of like a Victoria's Secret, but not.
Mm-hmm.
But it was cool, like for us, because it like you see all these like.
It was the shoes. It was the shoes and skateboards were like the ticket.
All the belts.
Dude, I remember even before that though. It was like I'm going back to when we were kids. Like the shoes that would light up.
Oh, dude!
But then you would always get caught when you were playing hide and go seek. You were like the one kid that couldn't hide.
I don't think I ever had light up shoes.
Dude, like, that was like the
I can't
thing,
say I did.
Yeah, to have like the.
But I'm down to get some now.
Oh yeah.
Dude, how funny would it be? Like you just roll up to like a nightclub and some like shoes that light up.
That'd be the place to wear them, and then everyone would be laughing.
I feel like if I was a DJ or something, I could pull that off.
You could. I think that the generation of people at the clubs now would kind of get it and would kind of like know what that was from, and it would be a good laugh. Mm-hmm. Like, oh man, I used to have those, or I used to have those. But if you were to wear like a pair of moon boots, to a club now these days, it'd be like kind of, you're not really connecting with the generation that's there right now. Mm-hmm. You would have 10 years ago or 20 years ago, it would have been nostalgia to the people that are there.
These days, everyone's wearing extremely tight pants, where like the bottom of your pants are like way above your socks, so people can see your socks, and that's why people wear like silly socks. I'm very guilty of that. Like in my business job, I'll wear some tighter slacks, but then I'll wear some really funny socks underneath.
I have a pair of like active pants that are like those like form-fitting brown, like just skinny leg pants. But now all I wear are jeans, and because there's no way I'll fit into those active pants. Get a standard pair of jeans. I don't care if they're Levi or whatever. You can go to Target and get a pair of jeans, but
oh yeah, I've seen the jeans that you wear, dude.
Yeah, I wear them till I wear them till they die, dude.
You have like the same olive pair of shorts for like the last 9 years that every time I see you, I'm just so disgusted. I'm just like, dude, throw that shit in the fire.
It does probably seem like I wear the same crap at every family occasion, But then again, I mean, you show up in your little baby Gap shirts and your, your tight little pants on and everything like that. Ever since you had your weight loss, it's been kind of like more of a metro look. Yeah. Which is more of like that's cool and everything.
Well, because when you're fat, you can only wear so much shit. I lost 80 pounds.
You lost all that weight, and now you're like the Nutty Professor after he loses the weight, and you're like, I'm so excited.
No, honestly, like when you start getting in really good shape, your confidence goes way up, and you want to wear like sexy shit, like low cut V-necks and like tighter pants, that show off your arse, and just it's a good feeling, man. It's a good feeling to know that you're alive, and when you wake up, just quoting some Reading Rainbow there.
That's not Reading Rainbow.
It's not?
No. I think it's a good feeling to know that you're alive. That's Mr. Rogers. It's a happy feeling to know that you're alive. That's the song. Mr. Rogers? Yeah, he used to sing that.
It's a happy feeling to know that.
Because if you wore a V-neck back then, because you were like almost 300 pounds.
I was 265 at my heaviest.
You had like your boobs were like pouring, dude. I can't believe how much weight you lost.
80 pounds.
No, it seemed more.
Dude, I was 265, and I got down to 185.
You can only lose so much weight because you're tall.
But then when I got down to 185, it didn't look too good for me, like because I'm like a tall and big dude. Yeah. So it looked like my cheeks were kind of like sucked in, So now I bounce between like 190, 195 now, which is like my kind of sweet spot.
Yeah, I'm
6'4".
I'm like 6 inches shorter than you.
Yeah.
And I weigh about 180, 185.
Well, you're a fat piece of shit.
I am, but at the same time.
But you didn't even if you started going to the gym and started getting, muscle weighs more than fat.
I have the next 2 weeks off work. So, other than editing podcasts and stuff and going on a road trip, which we still haven't freaking gotten to, but I'm over here talking about it. I'm going on a diet.
You're sucking ranch off your fucking finger.
I got 2 weeks off. Next week, okay, so in 2 weeks I go on the road trip. Next week I'm supposed to get in shape, starting basically Monday, which is tomorrow.
Okay, and what are you gonna do?
And I got ranch on my fingers, and I'm like,
you ordered an extra pizza for yourself.
Yeah. Well, look, you don't order extra pizza on accident. You order every time I go out right now, I order extra food. I was at that wing place we went to down the street.
What do you weigh right now?
Weigh?
What do you weigh?
At least, I think probably 185 at
Okay.
the most. Maybe between 175 and 185, probably.
Okay.
I'll probably get down to 170 to 175.
Yeah.
Because I'm probably closer to 185, to be quite honest.
Well, like, if you got shredded and, like,
Shredded?
muscle.
Yeah. Dude, what are you talking about? No, my arms are actually pretty built. And my whole upper body and shoulders.
You just have wide arms.
I have natural, like, just, like, a thick muscle look,
Yeah.
you know? Well, look, so, yeah, the next week, I'm going to try to lose some weight. I got to get back in the gym. I've had a gym pass. I've been paying for it. I need a drink. Hold on.
He drinks a gravy shake.
I got a full-on slice of pizza caught in my throat. Next week, we're going to start hitting the gym. We're going to be doing running, a lot of cardio. It's time to burn some fat off.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I need to get huge. I don't feel like I need to be the Hulk Hogan or anything like that. But I got to burn off some fat. Next Sunday, I'm going to the Grand Prix with Pops. Got some friends down there that are on the Honda race team. Gonna check it out with my buddy Jack, firefighter in Los Angeles. Shout out to Jack. So earlier we were talking about the truck that I want to get, and that's because right now I have the Taurus with the dead bodies in the back. And so yesterday, you know, I'm getting ready to go on this road trip next week, and we're working out and getting the car ready, and I'm thinking, okay, I know I need an oil change. I work in Santa Monica right now, so I put a lot of miles on it. And back in the day, it would take a couple years ago, it would take months to reach 3,000 miles. So
Yeah.
I would always be ready for the 3,000 mile mark, and then I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna go change my oil. Now it's like, you know, just a few months later, I'm blowing 3,000 miles over it. But I've also learned that you can get away with that, you know, not to the point that you got with your truck where you just never put oil in it and the engine exploded. That truck you rebuilt.
I don't know if that was the case of that, but
Shut up. Yeah, it was. Anyway, so look at you, dude. You know it was. You didn't put any oil in it. So I'm there at the car wash yesterday, and there's so many people there. You know, I had already done the oil over at Jiffy Lube, and they gave me like the manager special.
I need the manager special.
Yeah, and then the girl with the drawn on eyebrows, she goes, "That's gonna be $29.99," you know, and she's like, and I don't know why she felt guilty like towards the end of ringing me up. She goes, "I'm so sorry. I usually have so much more energy. I don't have much energy today to be happy and talk." And I'm like,
What the? Like, you work at an oil place.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, you
stupid
work
idiot.
at Jiffy Lube. I'm like, well, to be fair, I'm like, you know, I just woke up too, so maybe you just need some coffee. You need to go across the street. And she just kept telling me how she felt so bad that she wasn't more lively, like ringing me up. I'm like, what do you want to bake me a pie? Look, just
read a book.
Ring me up and let's call it a day. You know, like
You know what? You should feel bad.
You
That
should
you
feel
didn't give
bad.
me a bigger discount.
Yeah. So I go to the car wash now. And then I always see like the same guy that I always want to wash my car because he does a good job. I don't know his name, but I just say Jefe. You know, I'm like, hey, ¿qué pasó, Jefe? And he's like, hey, tamarindo. So I see this dude, and he's there, of course. He's just always there on Sundays, which are usually the days that I go, or Saturday. He's just there all weekend. He's basically never leaves. And
He sleeps there.
so there's so many people though that I'm like thinking it was. I had already gotten kind of a sunburn over the week prior, so I was like, I don't want to kick it in like the seats outside. I'm gonna stay in like where they ring you up at the car wash. So they had an Ice Cube movie playing, and like volume 2 in the car wash. So it's like you can barely hear it, but you just know he's saying NW, you know. And I don't know what movie it was. It was good. It wasn't one of the Fridays, and it wasn't anything that I had seen before. But there was my chair was backed up to this other chair that was for it was a massage chair basically. You put a buck in, then the footrest comes up, and then it starts.
Those are the best.
The whole chair shakes. You know, you put your arm almost like in these little crevices, and then you know, I've done it before. I've actually sat in that chair at the car wash before. Put the buck in, sat there, got my 3-minute massage, just completely disregarding all the filthy pigs that have sat in that chair before and how often they probably do not wipe that chair down.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm just sitting on your normal chair, but it's backed up to, so the back is to like where the right arm would go on the massage chair. And then I feel like this big heavy mass sit in the chair behind me, and I'm like trying to like turn around, but the TV's right in front of me, and it's like I need an excuse to like turn around for something to see like what whale just landed in the chair behind me, and are they gonna put $1 in to start getting a massage? So I'm like looking at the TV, and then I just start like feeling the vibration coming off the chair. I didn't hear them pull their wallet out. I didn't hear them count the cash.
Good vibration.
Good vibration. Yeah. So my chair is now
some whale in your freaking back.
So the whale's sitting there. Now my chair is vibrating because it's actually touching that massage chair. Now it's like, and I turn around, dude, like just to see who it is, and it's this probably 400-pound,
some blubber boat,
fat Hispanic lady, like bless her heart, and she was like doing like the Mother Mary cross on her chest, and she was like shaking like Maria, Maria, you know, because she was like, I don't know if it felt that good to her. She's just like crying that out, like crying out for the saints. But I started just busting up. I thought it was great, dude. So to nerd out for a second, every time I go to that car wash, I actually hit the arcade because there's like a little arcade at the car wash, which is why I like going there. And what pisses me off is that their Pac-Man machine was broken and it ate my quarter. So it's just like a dead screen, you know, like you put your quarter in and it just doesn't pressing the start and it's not working.
Somebody's back's like, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I'll put it out there right now. If there's a Pac-Man machine or a Miss Pac-Man machine, if you see me and we're at an arcade, I will beat the all-time high score. Take me up on it. If I can't beat the all-time high score in the machine, I'll give you $20. But if I beat it, you got to give me $20. So there we go.
That's a $20
I did it the other day at the Santa Monica Pier. I was on a date out there. Went into this giant arcade. They had a Miss Pac-Man machine. And the machine was like, the screen was like dying because it's been there since '84. Yeah, the screen was like, it was like where it loses the color in a weird way.
It's just like all blue or something.
Yeah, it was unfortunate because some of the little bad guys in the game, the ones that you're supposed to eat for points, were like the same color as the background. So then I couldn't almost see them except for the little eyeballs. So it made the game extra hard, but I still managed to beat their all-time high score. Then I got my ass kicked at a basketball game. You know, like the little hoops games? And I'm like, God, this thing's so rigged, you know?
Basketball Jones.
Yeah, I'm a basketball Jones.
I'm a basketball Jones.
What is that? That was
Shout out to Space Jam, dude.
Space Jam. Greatest soundtrack of all time. What else was on there? Come on and slam, and welcome to the gym. Well, I remember you bought the tape with your allowance, and you bought the
tape.
You bought the cassette. It was the Space Jam soundtrack, and it had a "Fly Like an Eagle."
That was a great song.
Well, yeah, that song came out 20 years before the movie, by the Steve Miller Band. Fly like an eagle. Yeah, dude.
What was the other song that we really liked? It was
well, not Fly Like an Eagle. It was probably something original. Then the bad guys or the good guys were called the Monstars, or the bad guys were the Monstars.
Yeah.
They were like huge. And then of course all the good guys on the team were Looney Tunes playing with Michael Jordan.
I believe I can fly. R. Kelly.
That's R. Kelly?
Yeah.
They're actually coming out with a sequel, I heard. But well, the thing about Space Jam, I actually remember where I saw it for the first time.
Yeah?
I remember Mom and Dad were out of town. Mike Riddell was watching us. And he took us to a candy store and let us pick out 2 candies that we wanted. But we both picked out some random candy, and we both got a bag of Funyuns. Because Funyuns were new.
Yeah.
He's like, Funyuns? You know? So we watched Space Jam in the theater with Mike Riddell. And Mike Riddell, shout out to Mike, was a baseball player for the Cincinnati Reds back in the 80s, 70s, something like that.
Yeah.
He was our neighbor across the street. Super cool. You went over to his house and he had all the Babe Ruth, you know, and all the baseball stuff, baseball room, and it was like a scene from The Sandlot.
It was.
And just a super cool, you know, he and his wife, they would have like Monday Night Football, you know, over at the house, and then Dad would always go there and watch the game and get food, and then sometimes Dad would bring one of us over there, you know, he'd be like, all right, who am I going to choose? Remember that when he would like pick one of us to go with him?
Yeah.
To Monday Night Football?
Yes.
And it was literally across the street, and you just wanted to go there for all the good food, and that one fat guy that was Mike's friend, what was his name? The guy that would complain about everything, and that's why they would invite him. They had a friend that would sit there and just bitch about the food, about the game, about the music, and he just nothing was good enough, and that's why they would invite him, just because he would sit there and complain, and they would just sit there and laugh, and everything he would say like, this is it's too hot, the game. Look at that guy, the coach. Nothing was ever good enough for this guy, and then so to the point where it's like,
did he drive like a Bronco or something?
No, I don't know. Was it Gary?
Something like that.
Yeah, dude. And but I remember seeing him like years and years later, and then it was when the first Star Wars had come out. And which was Star Wars Episode 1, which is when they're rebooting the franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Mike had moved to Lakewood House, and we were at that Lakewood House, and Gary was there. Let's call him Gary, because I'm thinking that is what his name is.
I'm thinking it is.
And I remember you asked him, Gary, are you a fan of Star Wars? And he just goes, and immediately it just went off, just like, I saw the first Star Wars movie. I just didn't like that movie. And he just started complaining. And we're just like, oh, dear God, here we go. But to be fair, a lot of people did not like the Star Wars movies that came out after the prequel.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't feel like I'm a big enough Star Wars fan to say, oh, yeah, this and that and Yoda, blah, 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 blah. Look, I've seen all the movies. I like a lot of them. I like even the new ones that just came out. The last two, not just The Force Awakens, but the new one, I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
I'll get in a fight with you about Indiana Jones or like Jurassic Park.
For sure.
Or something that I can, even Jaws. I don't care, but I'm not.
I just recently got sick the other day and I watched all the Jurassic Parks in a row. Except for the very last one.
That was funny because you texted me. You said, I really like Jurassic Park 3. That's probably the worst one, dude.
You think so?
Yeah. The cell phone.
In the beginning, it sucks because it's like, he's like him and this little girl. They're like trying to figure out all this like new stuff. But the next one after that, it's not on Netflix right now, but I want to watch it. And it's like, that one's
which
a little
one?
Bit better. I think it has Chris Pratt in it.
That's the newest one.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one in a while, and that one's not on Netflix.
I have it.
Yeah,
you can borrow it.
All right.
But wait, so you actually like the third one, where he was his
good.
daughter?
That was the last one.
There's one.
Watched.
Okay, so the main guy, so he was a really big actor. What was his name? The guy he was in Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy's like some dinosaurs. Dinosaurs on this tour.
In the original Jurassic Park, they brought him over. And they saying he was like an actor, and musician, or some shit, right?
Yeah, he was like a rocker.
Yeah.
So you like the second one that Jeff Goldblum was in with his daughter? She's black.
Jurassic Park 2 was good.
That was with Vince Vaughn, dude. No one remembers Vince Vaughn being in that movie.
I know he wasn't super funny.
He was just really young, and you couldn't recognize him.
He was a good actor, and that's where they had like that guy.
The scene where the full on RVs like hanging over the cliff.
Yeah. And
then they're like taking like McDonald's orders.
Yeah.
But it was pretty funny. It was a good scene, and I remember they ripped that bald guy from the Jeep. Just like those two T-Rexes come out.
Yes, they pull him out, and he's trying to save the rest of them.
Yeah, he was trying to pull he was trying to use his Jeep to pull up the RVs off the freaking side of the road.
Right.
And then that fool gets clipped in half by two mama T-Rexes, dude.
Yeah.
But the thing I didn't like about that scene was that chick because they make you almost hate the protagonist, which is like, don't do that. It's one of those chicks in like all those James Cameron movies and Steven Spielberg, the lady that goes, I have to get closer, I have to see it. And of course, this the scientist lady, she sees a wounded T-Rex baby, she has to bring it into the RV, completely disregarding all of her knowledge of prehistoric life. But
it was the guy that brought it in. It was Vince Vaughn who brought it in.
No, it wasn't. It was the chick,
it was.
dude.
No, it wasn't, because he found it, and then
it's like, oh!
Yeah, he's like he ran from the thing and he brought it back to the trailer. I remember I just watched it, but she was right there like, oh my God, are you serious? You can't bring this thing in here. And
she said that, like, but then she got all into it.
Yeah, like, she was gonna help him.
The mom is very angry.
And then the third one had like Sam Neill and.
That's where they actually brought in a bigger dinosaur. And it was bigger than the T-Rex.
Yes.
And that shit was like... Here's the one thing I'll give to Jurassic Park 3, though. Is that they
brought Trevor and Morgan in, that one kid. He's
like living in like... He's like hiding out in that like big... like kind of like a storage container.
Yeah.
What I really liked about Jurassic Park 3, though, is I'll say this, was the birdcage. I love that.
That was cool.
Yeah, they're in there, and all the pterodactyls are in there, like, and that's like a giant observatory. Yeah, but they don't even realize it. It was like the coolest thing, and it
reminded. There was all those bridges that were breaking in there.
Yeah, and I don't know, like when I see a movie like that, I remember when the first one came out, which I still think is the best one.
No, the first one's always gonna be the best.
It is. It's just like the new one's great too.
I watched it and I had such nostalgia watching it. I was like a little boy watching it.
Yeah.
And I was sick that day out of the hospital, and like I was like, all right, dude, let's watch some old school stuff. Bring it back. Put on Jurassic Park 1, came on Netflix. I was like, oh, dude, this is like my shit, dude. Like this is like, remember that little kid in the beginning? He's like, that's not very scary, you know? That stupid little kid.
He's like, it's gonna
slice your belly right across. And I was like, dude, this is so good. It's
spilling your intestines out.
I mean, that's like 1992 or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, like
a long time ago.
It's like 15 years old. Like we were like little youngsters watching.
That was
shit.
the breakthrough for technology. You know, for video.
But you remember
graphics.
when you first seen the dinosaurs? You were just like, holy shit!
Yeah, but it still looks good.
It does.
It still looks, and I don't know. It was because. If it's because I was convinced when I was young that it was real, and it's like,
but it still looks
you keep
good,
believing that it looks real.
But it's not like a dinosaur. It's gone like, you know, it's not like
not at all.
All kinds of glitches
not at
or
all.
anything.
You know, they didn't just use some pre-made template. They were creating it, and a lot of people will give credit for the breakthrough in CG with Terminator 2.
Yeah.
The year or two prior with the T-1000, still one of my favorite movies of all time. And the T-1000 running, and he's turning into metal, and he's walking through the metal bars, and he's doing all these things.
That looks good.
It looks awesome. And, you know, I have both of those movies, T2 and Jurassic Park. But
staple in our youth.
Staple, dude. I remember I have it on tape, and then I got it on Blu-ray. Actually, I had it on tape, and then back when we were in high school. And it was like a cool thing amongst our friends if you wrote T2 on your backpack. It was like kind of like... You were like in this like T2 kind of a club, but then if you saw somebody else with the T2, like, oh, who told you to wear that? Have you seen T2 or?
You're not in our gang.
Yeah, you're not a part of the T2 club. It was kind of a thing, and then like, I remember like Jack, our buddy Jack, and
this was back when you went to Christian school.
Yeah, we would be in the computers class, and our teacher his name was Mr. Ford, and he was in the military prior, and then he was just teaching some like computers class, you know, with like these two. Bunch of kids, and then myself and Jack, we sat closest to Mr. Ford's desk, and he would have real talks with us. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, Terminator 2, hey, God, that movie's badass or whatever. You know, and then he would let us we would bring in floppy disks where I would take pictures of the VHS off the TV of like Arnold walking down the hallway with the gun.
Yeah.
And then so I'd take a picture and it'd be on a floppy now, because that's what the old camera that we had was. It would go straight to a floppy.
That's right.
Take that floppy disk, bring it to computers class. Put the floppy into the big tower, change my background to a picture of Arnold holding a gun, a shotgun. And he would let us get away with that. And at a Christian school, that was like a big deal. You know, you can't have like some picture of rated R movie with Arnold walking around,
heathens.
Blowing holes into like the T-1000 and everything like that.
The Jesus holes.
Yeah, we got to move on here. We can't talk about Arnold Schwarzenegger and Steven Spielberg.
As much as we want to talk about Arnold all day, we cannot. We must move on.
So we were talking about we were talking about going to the Grand Prix and everything like that. I'm going to be going to that next weekend.
That's exciting.
It is. That's one of those. It's one of those things where it's going to be so much more fun live. You know, compared to like if you were to watch sports on TV. And we were talking about this earlier. You know, like okay, how often do you watch sports on TV?
I watch sports on TV about as much as I floss my teeth.
So yeah, it's like the
never.
I actually like watching basketball on TV. We saw a lot of Lakers games when we were young.
I just never had a team that I was just like, oh, die hard for this team.
So,
but then like I don't also have cable either. I just have Netflix hooked to my TV. I don't watch a ton of TV, so I really don't get into watching sports. It's like I fill my time up doing with other stuff.
Right. So you're just kind of busy. You're not concerned with
I'm not a sports hater or anything. Like I just don't have the time to really.
Do you think that sports fans, major sports fans, are people with less time on their hands?
No, not at all. They just spend their time differently.
Okay, but they take the time when they're taking a crap or they're at work and they have a break to go on and check stats.
See, I'm taking a shit and I'm watching like something funny, like comedy.
Exactly.
I'm watching stand up. Or on my time here,
Yeah.
if I'm watching TV, I usually have something funny related. Like I just watched Joe Coy's new stand-up special. What's his name? Dave Chappelle just put up a new stand-up special.
Great,
So,
2-part. It's
yes,
kind of tricky.
2
You have to
parts.
actually click into it and then go to the second part.
3 parts. I watched both of them. I watched LA and I watched Austin. Which were both great.
They were both good. The first one was better, but
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree to some extent, but I thought the second one was he had some funnier shit.
yeah.
But the Joe Coy one was really funny too. I don't know if you got a chance to check it. My wife is Filipino, as you know, and she was watching it, and it's something we can kind of get into together because she finds the Filipino humor super funny, and I do too because it's like a lot of shit that my mother-in-law says. And I love Joe Coy. I saw him not too long ago at Irvine Improv. Guy was killing it, dude. He's definitely a hero of mine in the stand-up world.
That's cool, dude. I think that I remember we went and saw somebody just a few months ago at the stand-up, and when we started getting into this whole podcast thing, you mentioned that you said, I want to go and I want to get a job in a location that where I might be in the environment
Yes.
of stand-up comedy and all those kind of things. And you started working there a couple months ago. You were taking tests. You were memorizing menus for food. Tell us how that went down. Tell us and where you're at with that.
I saw one day that the Irvine Improv was hiring for box office.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at it and I was just like, dude, you know what? That'd be pretty freaking cool to work for the Irvine Improv.
Mm-hmm.
So I applied for it. I took the job. I got an interview. And then after the interview, they offered me a position. And the Irvine Improv is like $10 an hour. It's like restaurant hours, work for 3 hours here, 4 hours there. But
I think you even called off once to go to Jessica's baby shower, right?
yeah, I called off like 9 times.
So how many total days did you actually work?
I don't know. But so I was
4?
working there for a few months. And so here's my thinking. I was like, it'd be sick to work at the Irvine Improv because I get to hear free shows and I get to be around artists. And it'd be sick. But the realization was I was working in the box office. So I was kind of distant. I couldn't hear the whole show. I would sneak out here and there and listen to the show. And I really wasn't getting around like the guys that I thought I'd be getting around.
Right.
So I was like, you know what? As this past weekend, I just came to the realization. It was like, I have a full-time job. I work 50 plus hours a week.
Right.
I kill it. But it's like, I don't want to work at another place afterward because it's cutting like creative time to like write comedy and perform comedy and do podcasts like this on the weekend and network with people. It's like ultimately I need to have those weekends off to be creative, to be able to get together with you or with whoever and write and ultimately podcast and do like get ready for like doing creative shit because during the week, bro, I have no time. It's like I get up at 5 a.m. to go to the gym, then I go to work, then I come home, then I eat dinner, and then I go to sleep. So that's like my pattern. So I can't throw in another job on the weekend and just expect results.
I think anyone going into what you just did would think the same thing. I'm going to see this guy. I'm going to see that guy. I'm going to meet my hero, and I'm going to be set. Maybe they'll give me a card. Maybe I'll get a call, and it's like a movie. But the reality is, you have to remember, do I want to spend 5 hours hoping I meet a guy that was creative at it on his own time? Or do I just want to spend 5 hours being creative on my time?
Exactly.
And not get $50 for that 5 hours.
Exactly.
So you take the loss of the money and the chance of having a guy that's creative already making money. But we know how competitive comedians are.
Yeah.
You don't know how much or how little somebody will help you. That's the tricky thing about Hollywood and stardom or becoming famous, or material. We see it all the time. You see Amy Schumer right now supposedly ripping off all these people and all their jokes. You see her special on Netflix got 1 star.
Yeah.
Because, whether she's ripping off Dave Chappelle or Louis C.K. or all these 5-year-old jokes even, stuff that's not even that necessarily buried yet, that's still kind of, on the surface, and she's twisting those jokes to her own use.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I don't know. I agree. I think you do need your time off. You need time to spend on your own hobbies. You can't just be work all the time.
And I legit have 1 day a week with my wife.
Yeah.
So I'm a married man. Yeah, I see her every single night when I get home. We have dinner and stuff. But it's like having a full day with your wife is very important for a relationship. I know you're barely we'll talk about relationships in a minute, but
Yeah.
Having a relationship with your wife it's amazing. First off, I love it.
Yeah.
I love being married. It's the shit. But you also need to make time for each other more than just, hey, dinner, night.
Yeah.
It's like
dinner, night.
you need to have a full freaking day with her where you can take her out to sushi and have a beer
Right,
and really talk and like get like, how was your week, babe? Like, tell me about like those things instead of like, oh yeah, all right, great, let's go to sleep. It's like you need to like have that special time.
Well, I'm glad you're bringing that up because we're actually going to be moving into this. We're going to call this the serious segue, where I have my notes. We're going to talk about relationships, attraction, women, values in your 20s and 30s, time and family, and your mental state and your values. When we come back, we're going to take a quick break. Bada bing, bada boom. This is going to be 10 seconds.
Bada bing, bada boom to get the pace.
Quickly, don't go. Don't leave us. Leave us. Leave us. Well, I think the best place to start is probably values. What did you care about then? What do you care about now? You're talking about how you were spending time with your wife.
Time, man.
And it's not just eating dinner, but as we grow older, it almost seems like, we have less and less of it, right?
Yeah.
It seems like you're spread thinner and thinner and thinner. And it doesn't make much sense either. You're like, guys, it seems like I'm losing time, even if you have an entire day off. I think it just takes longer to do things as you get older,
But you really got to think about it. Every successful person has the same amount of time in their life. It's just what you're doing with it, that's really ultimately going to give you those results. But for me, I had to quit a second job that was kind of handicapping my time. To do creative stuff. And my thing is, like, I work my ass off Monday through Friday. But on the weekends is when I really feel that I get to catch up on, like, the stuff that really fulfills me. And what fulfills me is making people laugh, ultimately. If I'm able to make someone laugh, I feel good about myself. You know what I mean? So it's like, I really want to do that for a living as a comedian. And as a podcaster, like, if we're able to reach out to one person and make them like, that was funny, like, that fulfills me.
But do you think that the most important person, while we're on the topic, to make laugh, or is that usually like your wife or your significant other? Is it the most important thing to like say, hey, am I funny to this person? Is it important that I'm funny to this person? Does that really matter? Because you're not really in the relationship to make her laugh.
You're right.
You're in the relationship because you love each other.
Yeah.
How important is that in your personal life?
Good question. So her and I are freaking funny as hell together.
Yeah.
So like, it's pretty natural between us. Like, ever since day one, she knew I was a funny guy, and she was just always like, when I first met her, she was just a mysterious Filipina. I don't know. But she's actually super freaking funny. She gives me, sometimes she'll say like a joke, and I'm like, holy shit, if I just added this, and that, it'd be hilarious. And I do it, and I'll put it on Facebook. I'm like, oh, I'm thinking about da-da-da-da. So my wife, Ivy, is hilarious. So shout out to my wife, Ivy. You are one funny girl. And she comes up with funny stuff all the time. And we're always talking about, random stuff, but I'm clearly not always just cracking jokes in front of her, because that shit would get old, and she'd be like, okay.
Maybe at the same time, you're probably not even thinking about it. You're just like, she's just coming home. It's just another day.
It's another day. But like, some of the stuff we'll talk about during our day, like, how'd your day go? She'll be like, oh, dude, I had these customers, and they did this and this and that, and we'll laugh about that,
Yeah. But even in...
But at the end of the day, it's not a competition. I'm not trying to make her laugh.
Right, and she hears the podcast being recorded in maybe a less produced form while we're at your house. She'll just be sitting there, like, on her phone or her program, and we're doing our thing in the corner recording. So maybe it is less important that, you make your spouse or your significant other or girlfriend, boyfriends laugh, if that's what your goal is, like, if you're a comedian.
That's if you're the type of person, like, if you're like a funny person, you're gonna make your spouse laugh. But if you're like not a funny person and you try to make them laugh, like, out of nowhere, it's like, okay, that's funny, but it's like, dude, like, what are you trying to do? You know what I mean? Like, don't be somebody else you're not. Like, me, naturally, I'm kind of funny, quirky. I kind of think out of the box differently. And I say that shit to her, and she thinks it's hilarious. But I might say that to someone else, and they're like, what? But I don't know. It just depends on the time and the moment, you know.
Yeah.
Like if I think of something funny, I'm gonna tell her. I'm like, hey, what do you think of this? And then she'll be like, what? And then she's not from the U.S., so sometimes I might need to really explain what I'm saying.
Right.
I'm like, well, in English terms, this means da 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 da. And then by the time I get done explaining the joke, she's just like, oh yeah, that's okay.
It's not funny.
It's not funny when you have to explain it, dude. Like, you know. It's like, why is that funny? Well, let me break this down. Well, because if this person said this and that guy said that, da 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 da, she'll be like, oh, okay. Well, it's not funny now. You know, it's like that's like when you say to somebody, I'm a comedian, and they're like, well, tell me a joke, funny guy. Yeah. It's like, okay, let me just set this whole joke up for you right now, and then they're like, oh, that's not funny. Yeah. It's like it's in the moment. You know, you have to be in the moment.
Yeah. Well, I agree, dude, and I think that there's, You've obviously known me my whole life because you've been around the whole time. I've dated a lot of girls and have been in few relationships, though. Yeah. Where it was, like, official. Yeah. And so one of the things we want to talk about today was, as of yesterday, I'm in a new relationship right now.
High five.
But,
all right.
This girl is probably the funniest person I've ever met.
Sweet.
And by the same token, she's, for her, I'm probably the funniest person she's ever met.
Good.
I went to, we'll be on the 405 together for an hour and a half, laughing the whole way. That's
huge.
Yeah, so, she has, 2 jobs, and she does a bunch of stuff, but, we're in the car a lot together, and we spend a lot of time, we'll go out to dinner, we'll do this and that, but, a lot of the basis, a lot of that beginning, was, I remember the first day, she's like, she was working at a cafe, and she's like, not thinking, but just saying, I would say, hey, I'm going to come up there and I'm going to visit you at that cafe, and I'm going to come up there and get some coffee and pastries. And she would actually, like kind of reply, like, yeah, I'm going to be there. Like, she could have just said, yeah, come do it. But she'd actually say, yeah, anytime, Sunday, 7 to 3. Or, she'd actually say it, like, hey, I'm going to be working this time.
She reaffirms it.
She would say, hey, I'm going to be there from this time to that time, and I'm thinking, okay. Well, there was one weekend where I thought she was going to be working from 6 to 9, or not 6 to 9, but from just something to 9 o'clock.
So shift,
late shift. And so I'm thinking, okay, I'll go up there right before she's off. That way, I can go up there and she'll get off, and I'll say, hey, you want to hang out afterward and everything like that. She apparently wasn't even supposed to be working the shift that I went and visited her on. She was supposed to be working the morning, and then she switched it last minute. But that night ended up being such an impact, we were having so much fun, and we cruised. We went to In-N-Out Burger, and then, we didn't do anything crazy, but I kid you not, man.
It's those little things.
Yeah, 3 weeks later, we're starting hitting the beach, you're at a walk out there on Santa Monica Pier. And then pretty soon, you're at the house and you're just talking, you're having these serious conversations, And so it's pretty crazy, how fast things can work out like that.
For sure.
And how funny she is to me, she cracks a lot of jokes. Of course, she does voices.
Good.
I can only imagine, and the funniest thing is that she's seen every movie I've ever seen. So she likes all the Adam Sandler movies.
That's good. That's cool.
And she'll be like I'm very, very sneaky, sir. Even Jim Carrey. This was the best breakfast. This was the best breakfast. And we can laugh about stuff like that.
Good. That's relatable.
And I think that's important. If you're out there and you just got in a relationship or you're thinking about being in one, what is important to you? To me, that one of those big things that we've kind of stressed tonight, is you kind of have to have a sense of humor. But there is a serious side to relationships, that is also very important. That you do need to actually get along with them and like them for who they are, and for everything else, in between. So it's not just, does this person make me laugh? And of course, hey, what brought you to them in the first place? Are you attracted to them, right? Right. So you don't want to hook up with a funny beast, right? No, that's just not. I'm just kidding. I'll cut that part out. But so. How important in a relationship is attraction? When is that the most important? Probably the beginning, right?
Well, yeah. I think you meet somebody because you're first off attracted to them.
Right.
Or, you're attracted to them, but also personality is a huge attraction too.
But it's so temporary. It can last literally for seconds. The other person says something dumb. She just lost interest. She says something blonde or dumb. I should not have said that. Now he lost interest.
Yeah.
Or maybe he lost interest until midnight. So, how important is attraction in a relationship other than off the bat? Do you feel like now that you're in a relationship that you have to keep like in shape or like what you were? Like, is that still a value in
Yeah, I mean, looks is definitely great, but dude, like, it all comes down to like a bunch of things, man. Like, you can't just clearly looks are gonna fade.
Mm-hmm.
What ultimately is those conversations you have with each other.
Yeah.
And those intimate time together where like you're on the same level with each other. Like, that's huge, man. Like, that to me, like, conversation is huge. Like, if you can't, like, if you're a hot bitch, sorry for my language, like, if you're just a hot chick,
yeah,
but you can't keep a conversation with me, like, why would I ever want to spend more than 3 minutes with you?
Like, well, I can tell you one reason, but
besides smashing, dude. After that, like, hey, dude, like, what do I give you, a freaking iPad and you're just gonna be by yourself now, or like, dude, what do you want to talk about? Pokemon cards or something? Like, what are you into?
Yeah, she'll like something like kind of offbeat.
She'll like, yeah, like, I'm super, super into trees. Like, what? Or like, you know, like, just something completely off topic that you're not interested in. Like, you have to make sure that person is like you.
Yeah.
Or, you know, I mean, obviously they say opposites attract. You know, my wife isn't clearly just like me. You know, she's... Yeah. My wife's from a freaking different part of the world.
Yeah, I can't necessarily agree with that statement. The opposites attract. I mean...
Sometimes.
It's true, but a lot of times... Like, I have a lot of similarities and a lot of opposites as the one I'm dating.
Yeah,
so,
me too.
Yeah, so she has a sense of humor, but yeah, you're from polar opposite points of the globe.
For sure.
So, whereas, you know, I'm dating a Hispanic girl... You know, she has a different upbringing, different food, probably a different menu when she was younger, but we're like each other where we like a lot of the same humor and
you're subjected to a lot of the same shit.
A lot of the same media that we took in when we were younger.
What's the age difference between you guys?
The age difference is 5 years.
Okay, yeah, so mine is 4.
Okay.
So I mean it's the same.
Yeah, well I'm 28, she's 23.
Robbing the cradle.
It's because it's the genetics, dude. We look younger than we really are. You know? If I shave my face, that's just going to shave 2 years off my age. It's
my mic just started echoing.
It's just an effect on here. It's just the playback. It's not going to actually...
We're good.
You won't actually hear it in the actual podcast. So, attraction's important at first. You know, you're going to obviously try to keep yourself up throughout a relationship. You're not going to, like, completely let yourself go. Although a lot of women do that.
Hey, I did that.
Yeah. Well, you did it temporarily, but then you fixed it up, right?
Yeah. When I was super skinny, dude. Well, when I first met her, I was in shape. I worked at the gym. That's where we met. Do you know what my wife's opening line was to me when she met me?
What?
You don't smile a lot.
You don't smile a lot?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was like, wait, what? You know, I was like, come here, what are you talking about? You know, just kind of, I don't remember exactly what we said. But I got her number that night. I remember we kind of hit it off, and she was like, how old are you? And I was 23 at the time. I was like, oh, I'm 29. She's like, oh, cool, I'm 28. You know, because she was like 3 years older than me.
Yeah.
No, wait, 23, 24, 25, 26.
Or 5.
I told her I was like 29.
23 and
she was like 26. Yeah. She's like, oh, perfect, older guy, you know. And then later on, I was just like, no, I'm just kidding. I'm only 23. She was like, oh, you bastard. You know, it's the same night. And I was like, oh, I'm just kidding. I was like, you know, I'm just kidding. And she was just like, and I was like, let me get your number. I want to take you out. And then she was just like, yeah, for sure. So she gave me her number, all except for one number, the last number.
Why?
I don't know.
On purpose.
She's just being mysterious. I don't know. That's one of the things I was just like into. I was like, oh, okay, shit. I'll call 8 numbers. I don't give a shit. Like, until we get the right one. And then I text. And I finally got her number, and I like texted her like that night. So against the rules, you know. Like, text her 3 days later. I was like, "Yo, what's up, girl? Nice meeting you." You know, I was into her. But yeah, man.
You don't wait.
I don't wait.
I don't wait either.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I'll like if you're interested.
My rules are my rules.
Call him that night. Call him right away, dude.
Call him.
What's up?
Call him as soon as they give you that number. 3821.
Wait till they leave the building.
Click.
At least.
Yeah.
Call him right now.
Make sure that number's real,
that
right?
shit's
real. Hey, it's calling.
Yeah,
Who am I calling? Your mom?
You're all afraid that she's gonna give you the wrong number or something.
Dude, I would do that shit. I would call it right.
Call their numbers right there
in front of them.
Yeah.
Or hey, let me text you.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me just get my number. I'm gonna text you my name and number right now. You know.
And did you ever have any?
Ding.
Did you ever,
I got it.
Did you ever have anyone
No.
give you the wrong number?
No, I didn't.
They were like, yeah.
But I've given a lot of girls my wrong number.
And then they would text you on the spot.
Do you remember that one number that was like the that number you can give people? They're like
the rejection number.
Yeah. Do we have that? Do you have that number?
I don't have it anymore. I don't have it offhand, but
dude, I used to have the rejection hotline number on deck, and I'd be like, yeah, hit me up on this number, and be like, you've been rejected. The person that doesn't want to speak to you. Look at you again.
Welcome to the rejection line. Yeah.
So guys, if a girl you're not into, maybe she's a porker or something, and you're not into,
but she wants your number.
But she wants your number because she wants to give her this number.
Dude, there's so many for LA.
Find one in LA. Let's call it.
All right, try this one. 310 495 5412.
Unfortunately, the person who gave you this number does not want to talk to you or see you again.
That's
We would like
jacked
to take
up.
this opportunity to officially reject you. Our certified rejection specialists are waiting to serve you in your time of need. Please listen carefully to the following menu. Service provided by ESLF. If you want to speak to our comfort specialist, press 1.
Let's push one.
Hey, Pumpkin. I know this hurts. I know. The mean-spirited individual who gave you this number does not know you, the real you, the you
Wow.
behind the mask.
That sounds like a Filipina girl.
Yeah, she's like, the person who gave you this number does not want to speak to you, or maybe not have like ending relationships with you, but she might want to cook lumpia for you.
What is lumpia?
What?
What is that?
Dude, they're like Filipino egg rolls.
No, I've had it. I just can't remember what's in it.
It really depends what they cook it with.
Shut up. You never cooked a Filipino dish in your life.
I
You've
cooked
eaten
I
it
cooked-
all.
I cooked the Filipino
That's
dish
where
last
you get.
night.
That's why you gained all your weight, right? Back in the day.
Yeah, from drinking and just partying.
Or I
way
thought it
too
was from
much.
Filipino food.
I mean, it definitely attributed to it. Lumpia is the best. It's a spring roll of Chinese origin, commonly found in Indonesia and the Philippines. And basically, it's a savory snack that's made into like a crepe pastry that's called lumpia. It's like a lumpia wrapper, enveloping mixture of savory, very, very savory meat. No, it's amazing, dude. You should really try it.
So, I wanted to talk a little more about relationships. I actually
yeah.
wanted to ask you some more questions.
Sure.
So, what about like how important is it that you spend time with your significant other or wife? How much does that affect your relationship? One
It's
day
huge,
a week,
man.
2 days a week, once on the weekend, then I'm gonna quit my job or I'm gonna do this or that.
So, it's huge, dude. Like, for me, like having time with your wife is mega. It's like we work every single day. Like for what? What are you working for? You're working
Money.
to have a better future, right? So
Money.
am I. Money, time, etc., etc.
Yeah.
I work my ass off every single day, and I go to the gym in the morning, and it's like I just try to have like a full productive day. Gym, work, come home, eat dinner, fresh dinner, watch maybe something funny. Like recently we've been watching old episodes of Frasier because they're funny, and we laugh together like hard for like an hour. And for me, laughing is key. I have to laugh every day. Like that's just my shit. And I have to see something funny, listen to something funny, something inspiring. Because at work, I'm inspired all day. I work around a bunch of inspiring individuals. I work for a real estate coaching firm, and we help agents, move up to the next level. But it's all coaching, so it's all like reading and like bettering yourself, and
Yeah.
you're just around those positive ass people all day. It's kind of like a cult. Everyone's drinking the Kool-Aid. It's fun.
Yeah.
But at the end of the
Taking
day,
the blue pill.
yeah, absolutely. At the end of the day, I get home and I want to spend time with my baby girl, But it's but I only get so much time because she gets home about 6:30,
Mm-hmm.
and our bedtime's 8:30,
Right.
Because we got to get up early. So it's like there's 2 hours to go make dinner, do what we need to do, talk, laugh, and then it's like sleep.
Uh-huh.
So it's like literally I get 2, 4, 6, 8. I get 10 hours a week with my wife
Mm-hmm.
that I get to actually speak to her. That's not a lot, dude. That's
Right.
not a lot at all. So it's like having a full Saturday where I have a full day where we wake up together, we go to the gym, we get back from the gym, we have our protein shake, then we go grab lunch together somewhere. Like yesterday we had sushi, had a brew, just relax with each other, came home, watched a movie together, just kind of chilled out, and it was fun. That's a freaking nice day together, dude. Like where you're able to or like, we'll go to like or we'll go on like a little road trip somewhere. We'll go to San Diego for the day, or like we'll drive to Palm Springs and go like wine tasting or something. Like that's like quality time you're gonna spend with your spouse, and that's huge, dude. Like you need that. Besides going on vacations a couple times a year where you're able to spend like a couple days together, like having at least one day during the week where you spend the whole day together is huge for me, and that's really why I let this last job go. Because I wasn't able to spend time with my wife, or I wasn't being able to have time to work on my creative shit, which is writing comedy, performing comedy, doing podcasts. And it's like, obviously there's something going on every single weekend. I mean, our freaking mom's got something going on every other weekend. It's like,
babies are being born.
It's so-and-so's birthday. Better make sure you're there. It's 9 hours away, but better make sure you're there.
Yeah, a baby shower or a baby being born.
And I love that, dude. I love having family time. And that's huge to me because at the end of the day, you're like, that's really the only thing you have.
It's only on the drive that you're just kind of like, oh, F this, F that.
Yeah, Jessica, can you guys move somewhere closer to us?
Yeah, going out to all the baby showers or the...
Shout out to my sister and brother-in-law that live 2 hours away from us. Except my dad would jump in and be like, it's only an hour and 30, an hour and 40 when you leave at 3 a.m.
Yeah, exactly. And we like to sleep in like normal human beings.
Yeah.
Get up at 10,
exactly.
Maybe take a shower, hit the gym, make breakfast, leave by noon. It's your day off, dude.
Yeah.
That's the time you want to leave.
Yeah.
I don't care if we're going to Disneyland, if we're going to Knott's Berry Farm, I'm going on vacation. If it's my day off and that's the day we're leaving for vacation, that's what time I want to leave. I still want to sleep in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And but that's the thing, Dude,
even, my stupid internal clock wakes me up every day at like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Like this morning, I woke up at like 5:30, and I was like, my body was like, let's do this shit. And I'm like, no, dude.
At 5:30.
It's freaking the weekend. So I went and took a little bite of melatonin, just like a little tiny bite, just to get me back to bed. Dude, I slept for a good 3-4 more hours, and it was prime time. Then I hit you up. I'm like, hey, I'm going to the gym, then I'm going to hit you up. And that's when we came over here.
Yeah, dude. Well, the one thing is, for the next 2 weeks, I'm going to be off. So I'm going to be trying to get back in shape. But next week, I'm going to be going on that road trip. So, we're going to go to the Grand Canyon. That'll be both of our first time.
How do you plan on getting back into shape?
Oh, well, next week I'm going to be all cardio, dude. So 1 week is just pure workouts.
You need a plan, though.
Yeah, I got the plan. It's in my back pocket. You want to see it?
No.
Yeah, there it is right there.
Plan.
Wait, here's my plan right here. Middle finger. Nah, you know what?
I'm on the Heineken plan.
Yeah, less beer, no pizza, and run around the block. Do something.
No, I believe it's weight training, dude. Like weight training is where you're gonna lose it. That's where I lost all my weight. Getting up in the morning, weight training before work, and then.
Well, everyone loses their weight differently. I lost a lot of weight back in the day when I would just swim, and I was about 190, and I wanted to lose 15 pounds. I swam for about 6 weeks, and I lost 15 pounds.
Solid.
Yeah, and it was just because I didn't have a ton of muscle built up. I just had the muscle I had, and then this layer of blubber that could just be burned off easily.
The good thing about you and our bodies,
you could just burn fat off easily.
Yeah, we can. But we're kind of also naturally kind of built. Like both of our arms have been pretty thick. Yeah. Like our legs have always been real thick, and our torso has always been pretty tiny. Like it's always been like in the 30s.
Torso? Yeah,
your waist. Your waist.
Is your 30s small, or 30s is small?
I'm a 34. What are you?
32.
Okay, yeah. So that's a good small waist. That's good for your age.
Instead of being
I got up to a 42.
A 42 is huge, dude.
I was fat as shit.
42?
42.
That's big.
And for men, that's 2 sizes each. So it's like, I went from, now it was 34 to a 36 to a 38 to a 40 to a 42. That's 4 sizes. I'm 4 sizes less now.
Wait, it goes by 4s?
No, it goes by 2s.
Oh.
Have you ever worn a pair of 31s or 33s?
Yeah.
Unless you get it
I've
from
worn
China.
both. I have worn both 31s and 33s.
I have too, but it's like I don't shop at Baby Gap anymore. You know.
You don't have to shop at Baby Gap to get 31.
Where do you get those pants?
You can get it at it's just
At
by
the Chinese store, the 31 and the 32.
those are just inches.
No, you're right.
So if it's
but
1
if they're not common.
Well,
They're
that's
not
kind of
common.
where a lot of guys tap out on their ways. So they are kind of common. You can find
They're more custom.
you can find 31s and 33s.
Where?
And I've been finding those pants for the last 10 years. I've been the same size.
Where?
Active.
Where can you find a 31?
You can go to probably
It's more a customizable
Active.
store. No,
I don't care. Old
I don't
Navy,
think so.
Target.
I don't think
wherever
so.
you buy jeans, you'll find a 31.
I don't think so.
31 is not unheard of.
It's pretty unheard of.
It's not that unheard of.
They go in twos. Anyways,
I
2, 4, 6,
guarantee
8.
it.
Who do you appreciate? Me. Motherfucker.
All right. So anyway, they go in twos. That's like an inch. So you had an extra like 10 inches on there.
So technically, yeah.
30. You were a 42. That's pretty big, man. That's a lot of fat.
It is.
So, at what point when you were losing weight did you really feel like a notch, or what did you feel like your life changed? Because it wasn't just when you lost all the weight. It was like at some point you probably felt like
Under 200.
you're like, my life just changed.
Yeah. Because I was always, 190, 195, 200.
Yeah.
And then, I started getting, when I remember back then when I was working for Solon,
Yeah.
and I started getting a little bigger, I was always I was always at least like a 40, 38, 40. My shirts were always large, extra large. I got all the way up to a 2X on my shirts.
Right. Those shirts were just too tight on you, huh?
Yeah. So I was like, dude, this is dumb, man. I'm buying new clothes all the time. This is stupid.
You were just blowing up like our cousins.
I was just drinking 12 beers a day,
Were you really?
I was drinking at least 10.
12? 10
Just
to
to
12?
sleep. Just to sleep.
Yeah. That's not good.
Because
dude.
I had bad insomnia. Still do.
How do you handle that now?
Different techniques.
Sleeping techniques? Different stretches?
Different techniques to sleep. I put a plant in my room.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, that's chem oils or something that catches. And then I got 2 plants in my room. I spray my room with a certain scent that my wife bought from the store that helps you sleep. I listen to music, white noise, that helps me out a lot.
I've never done
So
that. I listen to the rainfall.
that's what I listen to. So let me show you exactly what I listen to. When I really, really have to sleep, I put on rain music. But it's got to be a certain type of rain music that's not like crazy.
Yeah.
It's got to be like a gentle rain music.
It's like
And
the backmasking on a Led Zeppelin song.
And I have to put myself.
Satan.
I've had to put myself into a certain state of mind before I sleep. So when I listen to this, do you know where I put myself?
Where?
Every night, I put myself in Catalina inside of a tent.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So I picture myself in Catalina in a tent, and this is what I listen to. I'm gonna give you the first 20 seconds. That's the only one that does that. But the rest of this, I close my eyes. I put
Like the
myself
Grim
into
Reaper.
I put myself into a dark tent. And pretend I'm all wrapped up into a little sleeping bag.
There were some scary times though when we would go camping in Scouts.
I agree. I close my eyes and I just put myself in this tent,
Yeah.
and I'm just what I tell myself over and over is I say, listen to the rain. So when I have a thought pop up like, hey, what are you gonna do tomorrow? It's like, listen to the rain.
Listen to the rain.
Listen to the rain.
Let the rain tell
Listen
you.
to the rain. Shut up and listen to the rain. And
All
that's
right.
what I do, dude. That's what I do. And that, putting myself into that state of mind helps out a lot. Or if I absolutely cannot sleep, I have a backup plan.
Yeah.
It's not calling in to work.
It's ZQL.
No, it's another sleep kind of music, but it gives you different kind of beats into your head. So let me show you.
Well, let's see it.
It's called Delta Waves.
Uh-huh. Delta waves.
Something like this. It's just a calm state.
This would keep me up, dude.
Very-
I don't know. I feel like
I don't like the piano in this one.
I feel like I might be listening to that the whole time though. You know? Like paying way too close attention on like what's the key change going to be up here, or
Oh, here it is. This one.
you know, the greasy fingers
It's not
behind
gonna.
the keyboard.
It's not gonna. You're not really thinking about like anything in particular. What you're thinking about is going to sleep. So you're just picturing in your mind.
I'm seriously thinking about going to sleep right now. I'm actually getting tired now.
Are you?
Yeah.
So just think about this. Close your eyes.
Listening to that song.
Close your eyes.
Uh-huh.
Just listen.
Yeah, it's like
And then when you have a thought pop up, and it's just like, hey, what are you doing? Like, just be quiet. And it's just like, just listen, and focus. And then once you just focus on your breathing, you focus on that pause of when you breathe in. That pause between both.
uh-huh.
You just think of that pause about going in, and you think about that pause when it's going out.
It sounded like the Terminator soundtrack, dude.
But dude, you're doing that for, it's almost like meditating.
Yeah.
It really is, because on meditating, if you're just thinking about your air going in your nose and then going out your nose, and that's the only thing you're thinking of, not like other things, that really helps me out to go to sleep. I was doing melatonin every night. I got all the way up to 10 milligrams. I was taking like 50 milligrams.
Is that a lot?
It's a lot. That's a shitload.
50 or 10?
I was taking 10 milligrams. You should be taking like 1 to 5 milligrams
Of melatonin.
melatonin. I was taking like a fuckload.
Yeah.
I tried all the sleeping pills, but they make you wake up with like a hangover.
Mm-hmm.
You don't wake up like sharp. But for me, just meditating with that music at night, you know, drink a full pot of coffee and drink a Red Bull, you know. Just do a
I don't
little
drink
heroin.
as much coffee as I used to.
No.
I felt like I would.
You have to leave caffeine alone after like 3 o'clock afternoon.
3 o'clock, dude.
Yeah.
That's when I start drinking it. Like right now, I start feeling kind of tired. That's a lot of times like when I take a dip, you know, at work. It could be around 2 or 3 after I've had my lunch already, and then I'm like, oh man, I need a good like iced coffee with some half and half and some hazelnut. But today, no, I slept in. I was pretty charged. I think what did it was all that pizza I ate with the ranch. And I was
It's the carbs, dude.
Yeah,
It's like if you have like a fat lunch and you have like a lot of rice, you just get tired, dude.
But you can sleep and then wake up in the evening and keep going. You know, you just have to
Yeah.
like take a nap real quick.
Just chill
You know?
out.
When Isabel and I were here yesterday, you know, we had such a long morning, we'll say, and we took a nap from 5 to 8. Woke up and then made dinner. You know what I mean? It was amazing, you know. But you had to take your naps in the middle of the day, especially at the age that I am now, dude. Like, you got to start sleeping in a little bit. You know, you got to get.
I agree, dude. Like
your rest.
At work, I have to be at a level 10 energy wise, because it's like my job is I have to make people change their state of mind.
Yeah.
This is how you think. I'm gonna help you change the way you think, and make a mind shift of your business, your mindset, your marketing, your old systems, change, you know, to new ones, and like a bunch more shit. So it's like I have to be at that high level of just energy. So like, dude, I get it. So like the night before, I'm gonna make sure I need to get like 9 hours of sleep, because
That's
it's
a
gonna
lot.
take me, it's gonna take me 30 minutes to go to sleep.
And then we're gonna wake up. It's gonna take you 30 minutes.
And
to
then I'm
get
gonna
ready.
wake up sometime, and I'm gonna I wake up every night in my middle of my sleep, sometimes 2 or 3
I
times.
think you gotta drop all the substitutions of sleep and just go normal and let it hurt for the first few days, and then eventually just start going to sleep normally.
Yeah, and that's what I've been trying to.
You know how hard it is to go to sleep normally? Look, even I go to sleep normally. I don't take anything, and sometimes you'll just be up for 2 hours. That just happens sometimes. You just do it. You know, if you slept that day.
So if I'm like that, I just read or write.
Yeah, but I wouldn't do that, because then you're really gonna not go to sleep. You know, like you're actually trying. The goal when you lay down is to go to bed, but you should go to bed when you know you can at least sleep. You know, like if I lay down, there's sometimes where I'm like laying there for an hour, and I'm thinking about things that happened during the day or happened or that are going to happen, and then what I'm, you know, how I'm feeling about that, or just kind of planning, you know, in your head. And that's important, dude. You know, so. I don't know. I feel like I feel like you just kind of have to roll with it. That's just natural. It's just gonna happen. You know, there's nobody that just goes and lays down and every night, 5 minutes later on the alarm clock, they're just asleep.
Dude, dad's like that.
Except
bro.
for our dad. He's the only one that's like that. He's the only one that's like that. But anyone else, I don't think so, dude. I don't think anyone else is going to be like that. It's easy to get lazy and not work out, and then you start gaining a bunch of weight, and then your shirts are all tight. And then pretty soon your choker necklace doesn't work. And as you know, choker necklaces are actually back in.
They are.
Even like the leasing agent here at the office, like she wears like all these different choker necklaces that are like different sizes or different colors. And then I actually said, hey, nice choker necklace. And she was like super like, oh, yeah, you know, I really like these. And, you know, I'm really into them right now and everything like that. Then I was over at not Kinko's. What's the place where you go to buy your furniture? IKEA. This girl, she's wearing she was like an older black lady, but she had a full on like choker. It was huge. I said, hey, nice choker necklace, very 90s. And she was like, and she did not like that comment, dude. I was like, no, I wasn't being rude. I actually liked the choker necklace. I thought it was kind of cool.
That's so funny, dude. I was at the mall the other day, and I seen this lady pushing her little baby girl in a stroller. The baby couldn't have been more than like a year and a half old, 2 years old. And the baby had a necklace, and the mother had a necklace. And I'm like, good job, Mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, way to teach your daughter how to be a whore at 2 years old.
Well, is that what that is? Is choker necklace whorish?
It's pretty whorish, dude. Dude, I saw a girl. I don't think all the girls wear them like in clubs, and it's like an accessory to wear, right?
I don't think it's whorish.
I kind of do.
I think it's an old fad.
Okay,
it's a necklace, dude.
So I saw. Okay,
it's just tight on their neck.
I saw a girl at the gym the other day wearing one.
So,
but she was like an Instagram whore. She was just like doing like fake light workouts and then like taking pictures of herself. It was hilarious. And I almost wanted to go up to her.
She looked good though?
Yeah, she was hot. But I wanted to go up to her and just be like, "Excuse me, hi, is that like the new Nike choker necklace? Because it's so hot." Like,
but she's already gonna have 22-year-olds go up to her, ask her the same dumb question, and feed her ego even more.
Like, does that catch her neck sweat?
And they're all gonna follow her Snapchat, and they're all gonna like that photo. And it's just sad, dude. Like,
yeah, so that's why I want to go up and talk shit.
That's what I can't stand. Like, I can't stand the chicks, dude, on the Instagram or the Snapchat that's like their thing. Like, they would rather like they stay home all day just to take pictures of themselves. They have no work or career or life. It's just the likes.
Yeah.
They just like likes.
Yep.
And that's everything to them. To me, that's just pathetic. But
it's pretty sad.
You know, hoping that somebody, you know, some rich guy will come along or whatever, and that's how they're gonna make their life. You know, but you know, that's whatever. I know. I've known a few of those people. That's why I kind of.
What do you think if like if you and I got a choker necklace and we just went to the mall and just wore them around?
I think we should. I think that might be like we could start like a trend amongst guys.
I think it'd be super gay, but I think it'd be hilarious.
I don't even think it would be gay. But I think it would be funny.
But like, let's go buy like one of those ones that's like has like all kinds of designs in it.
This is our new choker necklace.
It has a little charm in the middle, and it's actually like one of those charms that goes on your fingers, and it's like a mood charm. So it tells me like, oh, it's super blue. That means you're like in a really positive mood. Like, oh, it's red. That means, ooh, you're so angry.
It was very red, but when we started the podcast, we just had this idea to wear choker necklaces to the mall. And all of our girlfriends came over. They saw them. We judged them each. They said, oh my God, I love it. This is nice. We picked out the colors. They said, this one's your season.
I think I'm going to find one that's like glow in the dark. So it's like the daytime you can't see it. Right. But at night it's like, hey, bitch, look at this.
Buttercream, Croc skin.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was that?
It's like camo. It's like you can see it, but you can't.
Camo. Get it? So choker necklaces, should they stay or should they go?
Should I stay or should I go?
They should go. I like them. I don't know. I think they're hot.
Dude, my wife came home with one the other night.
You didn't like it?
No.
You told her to take it off?
It was a super thick one.
You cut it?
No, it was a super thick one. I was like, babe, that looks retarded. You should take that back. Because it's super thick and you should buy a super small one. She was like, you're an asshole. But the next day she came home wearing a super skinny one. She's like, I'm sorry, babe. You're right. This one's so much cuter. And I was like, at that point...
Where do you buy them? Spencer's?
At the mall. At that point, I was like, you know what, guys? We need to come together. I mean, when I was a male model, I was never a male model.
You weren't.
Just at Abercrombie and Fitch for that 6 months that I worked there, I would take my shirt off and stand out front and say hi to Asian people walk in. I'd be like, "Hi, how are you?" They're like,
Did you ever do that?
"Yeah."
You had to stand there with your shirt off?
It was so funny. The Asian girls wouldn't say shit.
They wouldn't say anything to you?
I'd be like, "Hi, how are you?" They'd be like, and look at you and just look away. I'm like, "Oh, it's because I'm white."
Why?
It's because I'm white and my rhymes tight.
Wait, were they embarrassed or were they shy?
Now they're just shy. You know Asian girls.
Oh. They're too shy for their own good, dude.
You're too shy. Yeah, that's why you go for Filipinos. Because they're crazy.
So what about, like, cleanliness in the house? Or was that a bad segue?
No. My wife's super dirty and so am I.
Dude, because I've been trying to, like... Okay. As you know, I'm a bachelor here at the house. Mm-hmm. So you're looking around. You've asked questions like, oh, why'd you order so much pizza? Blah, 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 blah. Your house looks pretty clean. And it does. Like, I think I keep it up pretty well.
Right.
So when I lived at, the house with the parents in Bellflower, when it was all 4 of us, including our parents, so 6 of us living at the Bellflower house, the bathroom, which I had to clean, on every 3 weeks, 4 weeks, that was like... Oh,
mandatory.
That's your thing. Yeah, you're going to take out the trash, you're going to clean the shower, you're going to take out the cans or whatever. All that dumb stuff. Well, I would clean the shower every few weeks, and it would be like these scums that would build up in the corner.
Yeah.
Full on yellow and just green mosses, that would build up and like have like a heartbeat. It was just like
disgusting.
Yeah. Now I'm home, I shower every day, but I see like one corner finally, and I've been here since December. There's finally one corner that I saw like a little yellow, And I was like, oh yeah, look, it needs to be cleaned.
Pretty soon you're gonna have roaches.
So I'm thinking, okay, well look, there's a little tiny yellow corner, so I'll clean it this weekend. Spray it with the 409, or whatever. But that little yellow corner, that was like nothing compared to like the old house. Like when you have a bunch of people showering, it's all the germs that mix.
For 6 people.
For 6 people. It's just settling.
It's a buildup.
Yeah, it builds up. It builds up so much quicker than if it was just, one person.
Right.
So that's one thing that I got to do. That's the only thing that I kind of have not.
Well, do it!
Or do it. But I always find myself like short on time. Yeah. Because look at over by my TV. I have a cactus.
Can I give you a good example of so this is, I feel the same way as you. Like, I always have projects, like little things that I do. But I just adopted something that I told you about earlier called a do, doing, and done board. So you can do this using 3 lines on your wall. I have a whiteboard that I put down. I put 3 lines down. I put do, doing, and done. So doing or do is the things that I need to do. So I would put cleaning shower.
I guess that whole thing just seems so 5th grade, dude.
It does, but it's like it's shit you need to do. You write it down. So I've been doing that lately. Doing, and done. You can even do it with sticky notes. So let's say you need to, one of the big projects I need to do is pull out my refrigerator, clean behind it, clean the back.
You needed to clean inside of it because last time I was over there and it was like full on just rust.
It was
it was like that black.
Ivy just cleaned it. No, Ivy cleaned the inside of it, but we need to clean the back of it. So there's those little things that keep the fridge. Like Dad was telling me, he's like, yeah, I take out the fridge once a week or once a year and I vacuum the back of it. Like all those little dust that builds up back there, all those little bugs and shit, and just shit that falls between your fridge that you just don't clean up, like me, like a beer falls between it and you lose a cap back there and it's just stays back there and gets dusty. I need to pull that shit out. It's 6 years of just crap and I just need to clean behind it. It's I know I needed to do that, so
finding the time, and now you're not going to be working on the weekends. You're going to have more time again now to
projects.
To clean or spend time with family or to do projects or whatever you got to do.
That's huge.
Yeah, right now, you
need to have a good work-life balance.
You do. And right now, I have time off. We're doing, obviously, a podcast again. We kind of got back into the swing of things after, a couple weeks of just back and forth. And, but just to show, the lack of time that there was, I have a cactus in the front of my house next to my TV that I have to water once a week, if that, and that thing's dying. And like I'll cup like a handful of water like every couple of weeks and just kind of like walk over to it.
Sneeze into it.
Yeah,
Dude,
I'll
you're
cut
good.
like my hand and just fill it up with a little water and just like drip it right onto the thing, and it's still kind of barely holding on. But the reality is that you can sit here and you can work and clean and scrub until you're blue in the face. You know, the most important thing is that you enjoy your life and that you get out and you get to do things like we're doing, podcasts, you know.
Yeah.
If I had to choose between a live cactus I made bed or a recorded podcast, I'd probably pick a recorded podcast.
Yeah.
Period. But we're going to actually have some traveling and trips coming up. So I know Tommy's got a Philippines trip coming up.
Yes.
We'll probably cover more of that on the next podcast.
Yeah.
And then I will be in Arizona and Nevada next week, Vegas and the Grand Canyon. Should be fun. And then we'll probably be checking in with you guys. Huh?
Some metronome speaking in here.
Oh, that's just because I accidentally turned on the metronome. Can you hear it now?
No.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's just the imperfections of our recording software. You know, we are simply on our first 10 podcasts. I probably won't even edit that out because that's just reality. That's just what we have to
I
have.
heard a metronome in my ear going.
Sometimes you leave it on because, I mean, I use this software for recording music. But anyway, you know, if you're starting with us now, you're hearing us in our first just few podcasts, us getting off the ground. It's going to get better, and it's going to get better and better.
We're in our kitchen, ladies and gentlemen. We're in my brother's kitchen, living room
Slash dining room.
slash.
But it works, man. It's
It does.
it's awesome, and everyone that comes over here is a great time. So,
Absolutely.
you know, when someday they'll come to apartment number 5 at the Village Apartments and say this is where they recorded like 100 episodes of the Brothers podcast.
Eventually, we'll have our own place where we can it'll be soundproof and it'll be like a studio. That'd be dope.
Yeah, mark our words. We're gonna have our own studio. There's gonna be a butler. We're gonna have massage chairs with fat Mexican ladies sitting in them.
Right.
Yeah, we're gonna have some TVs built into the walls. You know, it's gonna be great. A popcorn machine.
Y'all like popcorn?
Yeah, a giant
You
man
want a cotton
cave.
candy machine? We got
Yeah.
you.
Well, a giant man cave.
Just stick your arm in there. Just twirl it around. Just
Dude.
get cotton candy all around your wrist.
Well, we're gonna start flying out of here pretty soon. We're down to our last couple minutes, folks. We just wanted to remind you how much we love you. Thank you for all of the support. It's a lot of fun. It's always worth bringing the material to you guys for us to bring up the stuff, talk about memories, talk about upcoming events. You know, today we got to touch on some serious stuff and some not so serious stuff. You know,
Yeah.
we talked about the Grand Prix and sports, and we also talked about a little bit about relationships, time spent with your family, and how important that is. Ladies and gentlemen, call your mothers and tell them that you love them. Call your pops, tell them that you love them, because we're not guaranteed all the time in the world. You only have so much time. You got to make it amazing. Check in with your family. Make sure that everything's okay.
Absolutely, guys. I had a breakthrough the other night. I went to a little seminar, and one of the things that they were talking about was, you know, different breakthroughs and stuff that you kind of go through. And one of the kind of breakthroughs that I was kind of going through was, for sure, like time and like having time to do the things that I like to do, and versus just the time working. And then also too is having the time, like spending time with the people that matter the most. And for sure, for me, I have a brother and 2 sisters. There's 4 of us total. And one of the things that they kind of talked about at this seminar was your family. At the end of the day, you really only have your family. And it's like, that hit home for me hugely, like big time. And it's like, man, I got to make sure that I have an open line of communication with my family always. And
Yeah.
that's something that I'm really trying to work on actively more. Because it's
Yeah.
like, it's so easy not to. It's so easy to forget about your brothers and your sisters, but it's ultimately, those are the people that matter the most to you, because that's who you grew up with. Like, those people love you to death, and you matter, like, they're your world. So one thing that I'm trying to work on personally, kind of like that I kind of went through these last couple of weeks, is making sure that I keep in touch with my family and I have that open line of communication with them. And I mean, I love them to the corners of the earth, but there's some times where we get so busy, and you guys know what I mean. You get so busy, caught up with work, that it's like you forget about them. Mm-hmm. But ultimately, those people are thinking about you all the time. So reach out to them this week, tell them you love them, and connect with them on a different level, guys. It's huge. It's a huge thing.
And don't forget, somewhere, somehow, someone might step up to you and say, smile, You're on candid camera. That is all for us, folks. Peace be with you and good night.